Hey everybody, Dawn Ziegler here, and today we are going to talk about one of my most favorite topics ever, manuals. All right, so I want you to think, can you think of a time when somebody didn't do what you thought that they should do? You know, and then you got pissed off. My guess is you said, yeah, or every freaking day. So if that's what you said, stick with me because today we're going to talk about two things. The first one is what other people should do and why we're unhappy when they don't. And two, what you should do and why you're unhappy when you don't do what you say you're going to do. All right, so let's start with what you think somebody else should do. Your expectations. So imagine these expectations are like a big paper manual, like an instruction guide. So if people go along with your manual and do what you think they should do, you're happy, right? The best manual ever is The Stepford Wives. Have you seen this movie? I just rewatched it a couple days ago. So in this movie, men actually created a manual for the perfect wife. The wives were only concerned with cooking and cleaning and raising the children and being the perfect mom. These wives had perky little boobs and they wanted to have sex all the time because they just couldn't get enough of the king. All right, so in case you haven't seen the movie, this is what you got to look for. All right, here you go. This. Okay, this is the 1975 version. Awesome. All right. So, all right, maybe so you haven't created a Stepford wife, but here's some expectations you might have in your manual for other people. So, I wrote a few of them down, like this right here. People should wear masks. People should be kind. You might also think people shouldn't wear masks. People drive too fast. People drive too slow. You get the idea. Or people shouldn't drive too fast. They shouldn't drive too slow. So all day long, this is what your brain does. It kind of churns out judgments and opinions about how everybody else should behave. And what they all have in common is that they're thoughts. We often think they're facts, but people should not drive like idiots is a thought. So the set of expectations you have for other drivers, for example, is your manual called How People Should Drive. And look, I happen to have one right here. This is how you should drive, right? So if they do drive like you think they should, then everything is good. But then if they don't, if they drive too fast or too slow or whatever, you think that their driving is what pissed you off, right? And so you end up being really, really angry and then maybe even flipping the bird. I don't do that, but a lot of people do. So here's how people should drive. The manual was created by you. That's it. It was created by you. Okay. So you don't think that that's the way it is. You think that it's just facts, right? You think that having thoughts like somebody shouldn't drive too fast is just being reasonable. In fact, let me ask you, have you ever said to yourself, well, that's just common sense? Of course you have. We all have. I've probably said it 4,000 times today. So why is any of this even important? Well, it's because we go through life assuming that other people's actions cause our feelings. We live our lives at the effect of other people. But here's the thing. Somebody's driving too fast or too slow does not piss you off. Your thoughts about their driving causes your pissedness, if that's a word. So here's how we know. So if somebody, drove by, right, and you had the thought, she's endangering my life because she's going so fast, you might feel angry. But another person in your car who witnessed the exact same thing might think, oh man, if I had that car, I would drive even faster, and then feel admiration. Same situation, two different thoughts. Your thoughts lead to your feelings. So if that's true, how does this relate to you and what you think about yourself? So that's what we're going to talk about next, okay? So this thing called a manual, one of them is what others should do, right? The judgments and opinions that we have about everybody else. The second one is what I should do. And for you, it would be what you should do, right? So let me turn the page here. Here we go. All right. So we're going to call this, it's like my manual. It's everything that I would write about myself and what I should do. But this determines what you think about yourself, which leads to how you feel about yourself. So here's a bunch of thoughts I've gotten from clients. See if you've had similar thoughts about yourself. All right. In their I manual, they would have something like, I should communicate better with my partner. I should not yell at my kids. I should look better. I should make more money. I should be able to control myself when I shop online. I should like sex more. I should send my mother-in-law flowers for her birthday. And so the list of things that we think that we should do ourselves goes on forever. In fact, we could literally fill up a binder with all of the ideas we have about how we should be. So let's use one example. So you have, well, number one, you have a very complex manual about how you should be. So let's say I should communicate better with my partner is one of your thoughts about yourself. Let's also say that tonight you didn't communicate better with your partner. 4, what that means is that you didn't follow your own manual. You had an idea of how you should be communicating, but you didn't do it. 5, you had an expectation for yourself and you didn't meet it. You didn't follow the manual you wrote for yourself. Okay, so now what? 6, you're not happy. So let's look at that again. You have a manual for yourself, but everything in the manual is just thoughts about yourself. And the only reason you're not happy, or if you are happy, is because of what you think. So in the beginning, we talked about how we always think it's the actions of others that cause our feelings. It's not. It's our thoughts about their actions. So then the same is true for ourselves. We think our actions make us happy or unhappy, but that's not true. It's our thoughts about our actions that cause our feelings. So here's a scenario. Here's what happened. Woman gives partner the silent treatment because the partner got home an hour late and didn't text. Thought of this woman. I'm a horrible partner for acting like a child. And then the feeling that follows that thought is shame. So let's take the exact same scenario. A woman gives a partner the silent treatment because the partner got home an hour late and didn't text. But this time, her thought is, I'll go chat, see if I can apologize for the way I acted and see what happened in the first place, which leads to a feeling of productive. So it's the same woman, the same thing happened, but in the first example, she felt shame. In the second example, she felt productive, all because of what she was thinking. And that's how it is with us and the manuals we have for ourselves. So today we learned about our expectations of others and why we feel negative, and we talked about the manual we have for ourselves. If this idea intrigues you, do this. 1, get a pen and a paper and write out some of the manual you have for yourself. Take one thing and write about your actions with this expectation. Ask yourself what you thought about how you acted. Then ask yourself what you feel when you think it. You'll see that you're creating all sorts of thoughts about yourself that may not lead anywhere pretty, but it's okay. I just wanted you to see how you are the one who created your manual in the first place. You control what's in it. And now you can start to see the effects of this manual has on you. I'm Dawn Ziger, a certified life coach. And if you're a lady who thinks emotional baggage is hurting your romantic relationship, I'd love to help. You can find me at therebuildingcoach.com.